Welcome back, guys, to our lower bracket series, and now it is truly do or die here and now for our Protoss player, because Brassatwits all the way ahead to that advantage going into Triton, maybe gonna be our match point here and now. But first things first, let's introduce our players here on the bottom right. It is gonna be Thailand's StriKE playing on that blue Terran. And on the top left, his opponents down 2 maps already, looking for redemption, looking to turn things around. We are going to be the red Protoss Kun, aka Malaysia's Ranger. And into Triton we go already, the pylon looking to seal that ramp along the way. Barracks going to be their gateway rather as well. And in the meantime, Barracks here and now for StriKE. He is going to be looking to wall off and protect his ramp as much as possible, preventing any adepts from coming his way. And honestly, so far, this looks like this has been the revenge of the StriKE. The strike of the revenge, striking, attack of the clones, maybe make a Star Wars statement out of that one. But basically, StriKE looking for redemption, especially against Ranger, the man who beat him in that third place matchup on WESG. In the meantime, though, of course, we are going to be seeing this gateway, looking to get some more units out, maybe a stalker or two, maybe a adept as well. And into the natural we go here on Triton. So pretty map. It's a pretty big map to actually move to the other side. It does take a while. It does take a little bit of a while to make it to your opponents, but the ramps are such a big deal to work with. If you walk into a ramp in the first place, you might get punished in this scenario. As soon as you come up the ramp, you're already seeing people damage you, and you're gonna need a little bit either of that air or that scouting to try and mitigate the vision advantage. And without 2 assimilators here, and now for Ranger, we are gonna get the cybernetic score as well as, and at the same time, second nexus being built, as well as that command center. So basically, guys, these are gonna be standard plays here from both of our players. We are turning back into a macro focus series yet again after game 1's cheese. If you saw in game 2, it really was the Stalker Disruptor composition versus the Bioball. In the end, though, the Marauders proved way too much, found the punish, and Disruptors being funneled in to the Furnace without getting the Novas on out to get damage done at all is not the way to go. Pretty units. It really is, would you not believe your eyes if 10 million Disruptors decide to Nova your face. But right now, Ranger might be trying to turn things around, especially for his own mindset. Might have gotten stuck there, especially against playing that bio. Didn't really go for Archons early on enough. Got rid of the Colossus deck in that scenario after the Vikings. Not really, you can play it safe that way. But I feel like maybe mixing things up, not just the Stalker, but also a Sentry or two, as well as Zealots would have been a big help. Guardian Shield mitigating the small pokes of DPS, as well as Force Fields, getting the separation. Can only go so far with Stalker Blink Micro, because Concussive Shot is really gonna slow things down so much. Anyway, though, we are gonna get our 1-1-1 courtesy of our Terran player. Barracks gonna have that double pumped Marine, so it is gonna be a bunker in front to protect. Widowmine yet again potentially going for the drops, and that's what I've noticed here from StriKE so far. He hasn't gone into double Hellion opening as of yet, and now we are gonna see Tech Labs for our Thai player. In the meantime, though, the Malaysian side setting up that pylon out in front, and here comes potentially this Reaper looking to get in position, looking to find that scouting information that Brassatwits desperately needs. But already he can't jump up that ramp thanks to the gateway in the way in the first place. And be able to see now all these buildings turning into warp gates. This Artosis pylon might actually underbeat the rest, because does any of the units of our Protoss player, can they actually make the hit? Seems like it's not the case though, and it's time to retreat. In the meantime, Ranger gonna be bringing in pretty much everything he has in terms of units. It's gonna be those 3 Stalkers as well as that Adept with the Warp Gate on as well. He can go for any reinforcement cycles, but he doesn't have much money in the map. Anyway, though, Siege Tank getting a hit, and it's time for the Warp Prism to take everyone and go home. Oh, it's gonna be an old school opening though for StriKE. He is deciding, okay, might as well turn things up to 11, go into something even more different. Banshee, as well as a Tech Lab to get that Cloak. Now, the Banshee does have 2 upgrades, you can get that movement speed up as well. And the Cloak, of course, very useful to get the hits onto the ground. Now, how will Ranger respond in kind? He doesn't have the Forge yet. He does have that robo facility, so he can go for the observer and already building into that one, feeling like, oh, sees a tech lab. Okay, that has to be something I have to be wary of. And in the meantime, was the Banshee spotted? Seems like it is the case, because here comes the Banshee flying over the Stalker, and this is going to be really solid intel courtesy of our Protoss player. Now, a pylon being built as well, going to be so useful for reinforcements later on. But as soon as this cloak connects, it might be the main base in a spot of trouble. Anyway, the Banshee on the left-hand side, and our natural producing as much as it can. In the third base go for Ranger though, and that's something I've noticed for Ranger in this PVT. He's very comfortable with expanding, a little too comfortable on that first game. The second one, you know, it was a really good timings there to keep the resources on up, but by that point, just not the right unit composition against his opponent. So the Stalkers are getting warp on in, and Banshee Cloaking Field is ready to go. The Observer in the meantime following suit, and this is pretty much the perfect unit that Ranger has been able to build in this scenario. Anyway, it still is really a game where both sides are waiting for something to happen, for someone to trip up, or at least expose an opening in or out of their mineral lines. But in the meantime, we are going to be looking StriKE in the eye and saying, man, it really is the Industrial Revolution at work sometimes, because he is looking to build as much as possible. Immortal Micro though from Ranger. When in doubt, go back to something you're really good at. And we've seen from the past series that Ranger is so potent at that Warp Prism Micro. Anyway, those siege tanks now looking to march forward yet again. And honestly, this has to be StriKE feeling very, very confident with his setup. He has a lot of production going on. He's really, really evening things out in terms of that economy. Oh, the snipe though onto that siege tank. But at the same time, he has that 2-map advantage, and Ranger has to pull out all the stops by this point in time. StriKE can either play the mind game and hold back a secret strat or two. He can also decide to play something a little cheesy a la game 1. But since he already surprised his opponent once, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. That kind of setup. And Ranger has to take care of himself, take care of his base. Still though, the Banshees have done work. 6 kills already onto those probes. The third base turned into a scrap heap instead. And in the meantime, Stalker's now warped in yet again. Observer's giving chase, gonna get that vision. And Blink Stalker gonna be so potent. In the meantime though, that was a drop onto that mineral line. It seems like the Disruptor was able to get a Nova out before the Siege Tank could get the kill. And yet again, the Disruptor out in front. The Marines looking to stop that at its head. Still though, all eyes on these Banshees, and oh my god, it really is StriKE stuck between a rock and a hard place. He has to commit right now by this point. The Stalkers are just waiting on the other side. Oh, every little small misstep there onto those Banshees. Really a big pest, because the Stalkers having that range in this map. And really goes to show, the maps right now have been neutered in terms of these cheeky plays. As soon as you come closer to your opponent, there are really a lot of avenues to get the hits, like from here. But at the same time, you still have that one spot to protect yourselves, so it isn't a complete wash in certain maps. Anyway, now Nova not connecting, and this time Ranger looking for redemption. Still though, the Nova, oh, gonna get that front line of Marines. The Stalker does go down in response. And in the meantime, we already have our step back as well as concussive shot, combat shield coming online as well. The Bio Ball looking to get stronger and stronger, and this is gonna be +1 coming out here from StriKE. StriKE knows this. He is coming closer, creeping on in as much as possible. In the meantime, the Observer spotting everything on out, and this is a little dangerous here for Ranger. Yet again, he is down on that upgrade tab. In the meantime, into Dark Shrine we go. And think about that Dark Shrine. Sure, if the missile turrets are set on those mineral lines, it's a little harder to get the damage done in the first place. But you can use it in the front line in a few scenarios, especially if orbital commands are used like this. Immediate mules for that entry. In the meantime though, we still see StriKE holding back in terms of the greed. You never know when you'll need a scan or two. As this Warp Prism trying to get on the way, the Disruptor. Oh, it's not gonna happen, man. It's not gonna happen. This time StriKE knows where to hit. And that Warp Prism going down with Disruptor alongside it. Doesn't even matter if the Disruptor was inside or not. As soon as the getaway vehicle was gone, the heist was over. Anyway, though, ground armor +1 gonna be pretty effective at keeping these units alive. You don't really need that weapon +1 because the Nova more of an ability instead of a normal attack itself. And that is the main brunt of DPS here for our Protoss player. Scando completely on point. And this time, you see a quick little blink or two, the Stalker trying to get some sounding information. Still though, the Medivacs now having a good load of units ready to go. And onto the west side they go yet again. Now, it's still a 3-base scenario here for our Protoss as well as our Terran. And it seems like we do see Kun trying to go for that force, looking to get ahead in terms of that warrior count. They are coming closer and closer though to pretty much the efficient number of workers, already at 60, can go up to 70, maybe even 80 if they're feeling that greedy. In the meantime, Zealots looking to give chase. The Medivacs might have gotten spotted there. And does Ranger know that this is coming, as StriKE now is waiting on that west quadrant. One good recall might work out here and now, but it seems like the bulk of the army instead sent against that retreat path. And this is a lot of Stalkers waiting on the opposite end, do or die in this scenario. In the meantime though, Zealots are warped in to deal damage onto that third base. They do go down, SCVs are hampered. And for the time being, does Ranger actually see those Medivacs? Yes, he does. Literally at the edge, at the pre-site. He sees those Medivacs waiting on the other side. The Stalkers as well are spotted. And you know, sometimes eye contact really is something you're trying to avoid. And these Medivacs are quite shy. Drop play might be king, but here on Triton, the Howling Waste do not hide you whatsoever. Even though in the minimap it doesn't look like anything's there. Ranger having the keen eye and having enough of that game set to put in some Stalkers. In the meantime though, that Dark Templar trying to get to the other side, getting blown up to smithereens yet again. The Wooden Mine getting that hit. We are playing the waiting game. And now the real question, guys, is how long before someone gives here? How long will it take for someone decides to say, screw it, I'm gonna go for either the attack or that defense? And Ranger, as soon as these Stalkers are sent to the wrong place, to the wrong time, those Medivacs are gonna be waiting to go for the attack scan right now against that 1DT. And overall, not really the worst tactic here for a Ranger. He's sending these lone DTs to force the scans out, costing energy against the Terran, and basically every single time that you use a scan or the supply depot drop, that's a lot of minerals not being mined by potential mules. Anyway, the Blink Stalker decides to assassinate the Medivac first. Seems like we do see Ranger learning from his mistakes. In the meantime, though, StriKE still keeping up with something he's comfortable. +2 right now for our infantry. +1 on the ground. Weapons and armor here and now for Ranger. And oh, it might be time to see the ghosts in action, because shockwaves are coming online quite soon. It'll be very effective to get those big hits, big armor, big shields rather, going down thanks to that EMP. In the meantime though, Nova right now, effective yet again. Send workers in the meantime as the drop finally happens. Dark Shrine is spotted. They're looking to go for the takedown there. And here go though with the recall. A lot of units pulled back by the Protoss. And it is going to be a one-way trip here and now for these infantry. The Medivacs decide to bail on out. Will it make it to get away to live to fight another day? It seems like this one Medivac, the lone survivor, but 14 probes, 15 probes actually going down thanks to that Banshee as well. Two-prong attack there from StriKE, but in the meantime, Ranger defending well, getting the recall at the right time. And honestly, he did a lot of DPS. Oh, the witness protection program ain't gonna happen, sir. But as I was saying, just such a solid hit basically onto the main force of StriKE. He got enough damage to safely recall on away. And sure, Stalkers do go down. But this has to be Ranger feeling confident after that fight. Even though he lost a bunch of probes, he was able to fend off a strong drop play there. And now, while StriKE is rebuilding, Ranger having the full brunt, the full might of the Protoss ground forces, the Golden Armada, or you could say the Golden Ground Forceless, just looking to decimate, looking to purify anything in their path. 83, 91 to 71 right now in terms of that unit tab. And things look good here and now for our Protoss if he can get a crucial decisive blow. But if he loses all of this, then that has to be the show, because Ranger is all drained out. He's running out of minerals as well as gas. Now he's looking to get those dark High Templar to turn into Archons instead. And now we go for the blink yet again. The siege tank will get caught. In the meantime, Liberators out of position, looking for the zones of liberation yet again. Medivacs as well as the Marauders and the Marines. Triple M's trying to go for that chase. But Triton, as I said before, the Rams playing a key factor. It takes a little while longer for the Marines and the Marauders to lock on with the shot because Medivacs lagging behind in that scenario. Now +2, gonna be very effective here for Ranger every single time. He's on the same upgrade tier as his opponent. He does have that advantage because these Protoss units always pack a punch against the opposition. Supply depots now gonna be the target yet again. Here we go, the blink on in. The Stalkers out in front. But the Marauders right now trying to play tank. Liberators looking to go for the siege. Can they defend in this scenario? The circles though, not really encompassing everything you would like on this third base. Slowly but surely, using the Blink Stalker to pick apart the seams, the threads, every single component of this base. And as I was saying, Ranger, he suffered a big hit economically, but did not suffer anything in his army. Allows him to pretty much become the bully in this scenario. Storm as well, close here. Things of note though, he only has one High Templar, and that's only going to be one Storm, I believe, in this scenario. Warping in another one should only have feedback as soon as it comes out. But we'll see if the lightning can crackle enough. Oh no, the Stalkers baiting is the enemy sometimes. And 3 Stalkers given there to StriKE. Ranger in the meantime trying to go zip around, and the Liberators packing a punch yet again. As soon as they concentrate that fire, it's just way too much to handle. So no more Liberators being built here for StriKE. He's still trying to stay on a low gear, but now it's time potentially to max things out. Oh, the Marines though getting vaporized by that one Storm. The High Templar lagging behind, but sure is enough to get 3 kills. And for now, we do see StriKE investing a lot in trying to build a bigger and better ball. But here comes the Protoss right now. 118 to 104. Things look good so far for Ranger. His 4 bases and maybe even a 5th are up and running. Storm right now vaporizing the floor. And here comes the march on in. It's time to get the big group of units going. Sadly though, the Colossus are caught in the middle and will get taken down. Stalkers now blinking onto the left hand side. And apparently all things are even on up because the Liberator is getting some good DPS from above. And it has to be Ranger backing on that. Still though, SCVs are getting vaporized left, right, and center after the pull apparently. And in the front, those workers trying their best not to be in the front lines themselves, they do get taken down instead. And we were looking for potential draws. It seems like it was not the case, as the PF might be good here for StriKE, but Ranger sending in the reinforcements. This time, Zealots are marching forward. The question is, do they have charge? Yes, they do. It's time to gap close with a Storm in behind. Still, though, those Liberators so pesky. And something I've noticed is, sure, we got the Shockwave from the Ghost Academy, but have we seen any Ghosts so far in this composition? Seems like it's not even the case. So StriKE really wasting the upgrade he invested in. Finally though, we are going to see the Ghost out and about. Snipes as well as that EMP gonna be big, but will it actually make it? Can the Specialist come back in time? Because the Stars right now up in the air looking to get those hits. In the meantime, more and more High Temp are being warped, and the power of the Kala, the power of power itself, gonna be very effective. Still though, Stalkers blinking on down. Stalkers Ranger right now waiting on the other side. Still though, here comes StriKE pushing forward, spots the opportunity every time that teleport is not on cooldown, not off cooldown rather. It is a potential striking point with that stim pack, but this time High Templar yet again punishing the opposition. Storm getting a good vaporization or 2, and now the Stalkers still staying on. Here we go with the scan yet again. Link right now to try and make the other side, this third base under the rest one more time. There we go though with the EMP sucking dry those High Templar, forcing them to turn into Archons instead. But the other one's in behind getting some huge Storms, and pretty much the High Temp showing why they are on top of the food chain here for the Protoss. We still do see a set of Storms waiting at the wings. And Ranger right now looking for another pronged attack, but the Planetary Fortress, of course, dissuading these Stalkers from pushing all the way to the other side. SCVs are picked apart as they're trying to play with that refinery. And things look pretty dire here for StriKE. He's down on that worker count, and while he is evening things out on that army, all his money is going in that direction. not really able to build as many SCVs as he would like to keep the flow, to keep the resources going. And now the Archon's looking to punish every little single bit of hubris that Terran has to offer. Still though, the Ghosts, of course, as soon as get more EMPs, they're going to be very, very effective. Right now, they don't have enough energy, unfortunately. Sensor tower being built. Just see how the Protoss is going to be moving. And in these situations where you don't know which flank they're going to be coming from, the sensor tower is such a big, big deal. Right now, Ranger realizing the situation, realizing this is the time to move around in this map just till the circle shows on up. Finally, the sensor tower going to be able to see that one. The second one is there as well. So the red is glowing on that battlefield. A lot of bases right now for Ranger, and it might be time for him to finally seal the deal here on Triton. He's pushing forward yet again. Good EMPs one more time on those high stems. Storm though from behind, and the Ghost right now. Oh, the recall to try and get away with this one. The teleportation there from the Protoss going to be keeping them alive, but Ranger sure is able to save and salvage that one. Now these High Templar turning into Archons instead, immediately turning into a more combat-focused directive. This might be the final battle here. Can Ranger or StriKE win out in the middle of the battlefield? The Selnaga Tower gonna be a potential witness into this one, but on to the right, on to the left, trying to decide the ramp, no! And into the charge lots we go. The first few Marines do go down. The Scouts immediately torn off their shoulders. Liberators yet again trying to get those zones one more time. And these libs are so pesky up in the air, getting some good hits. Unfortunately here for StriKE, he's running out of these fighter planes. In the meantime, on to the third base we go again. So it's so pesky. And this is StriKE getting strangled by those side blades. Ghost right now out in the open, will get taken down. No cloak to get on away. Here comes the blink forward to get away from the liberation zones. Immortals there as well. And now the side storms vaporizing everything going down on the side of StriKE. And Ranger getting the AoE to hit Novado to clean things up. And this has to be the wash that we're looking for. Ranger clutches things out and takes map number 3. We are still alive, but barely breathing. The Protoss looking to turn things around. Game number 4 coming your way.